Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Football with Bengal Jim and friends. Guys, we're going to call this 33rd episode Old School Edition, man. We're going straight 70s tonight, man, with our guest and our History 101. I should have my afro with my pick in it. Not happening. Well, I can't fit my hat over my afro, guys.
Jamie was born in 83, so he wasn't even born in the 70s.
79, baby, 79.
All of our friends from YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, thanks for joining us again. Obviously, we've got Jamie, our friends Jamie from Brantford, Ontario, James from Brownsburg, Indiana, on the screen with us again. We do every single week, guys. So thanks a lot for joining us. Very big night tonight. I am so fanboyed out right now. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am about tonight. I do want to start off again, a very special congratulations to our friends from Houday Nation on Facebook. They just exceeded the 11,000 followers, members of their Facebook page. And again, every week we talk about our friends from Houday Nation. Great folks. Make sure you follow. A bunch of good people there and a bunch of diehards, that's for sure. Good stuff there, guys.
11,000, definitely pretty impressive, and congrats to Josh and all the admins over there. It's a full-time job keeping up with the chatter on that page, so congrats to them, and I'm sure they'll be at 15,000 by the time we win a Super Bowl next year.
Hey, by the time we get off air tonight, they'll be at 15. So real quick, so we're calling it 70s night tonight, guys, so I'm going with a 70s helmet. This is not 70s bourbon, guys. I had to go Booker's tonight, special edition, brand new bottle. It's the pigskin batch of bourbon here from Booker's.
I've got the Buffalo Trace Bourbon Cream. It's the holidays. Had some eggnog. Do they have eggnog in Canada, Jamie? Are you guys allowed to have that up there?
I actually think that we invented eggnog.
Oh, okay.
Can somebody do a fact check for that on it as we're looking? We don't want any fake news on the show tonight. I'm just saying. Man, let's get into it, guys. Look, man. On Twitter's, Facebook, and Instagram, guys, we kind of teased a little bit about next week's guest. And we, guys, a big get for us and you to get next week's guest. We had a little game we played. I said, whoever guesses it, the correct answer, a player from the 90s, would win some stickers that we had, those vinyl stickers. We had out of 72 guesses on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram the last day. I think I just put that on there today, maybe. We had 2 people that guessed it correctly. So
Let's read some of these guesses here. What were they? One was Corey Dillon. I remember that.
One was Corey Dillon. A lot of Jeff Blakes, some offensive linemen. I can't remember.
We already had Jeff Blake on.
We already had Jeff Blake. Yep.
And if you missed any episodes, you can always go back and watch them. They're all archived on our YouTube channel. So Jeff was one of our early ones back in the summer, early fall. But Jeff was already on there. So Jeff's not the correct answer. Corey Dillon's not the correct answer. I was trying to find the stream of what the other guesses were, but I can't seem to find it.
Yeah, we had about 60 to 70 guesses between Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I didn't put it up there very long. I didn't retweet it or repost it. But, guys, let's make the announcement. We had 2 people, only 2 people out of almost 70 guesses got it correct. Justin Small on Facebook and AJ Arnett's on Twitter, which is the Arnett's family who does the videos every week that we had on 3 or 4 weeks ago that do the weekly videos about the other team, which do an outstanding job. That family's ridiculous. But
Jimmy, how do you spell their last name?
Justin Small, S-M-A-L-L, and Arnett's, AJ. I don't know if Canadians spelled the same way, James. We drank too much already.
No, I got I had to make sure I had Small right.
AJ Arnett's, A-R-N-I-T-Z.
Thank you.
Those are winners.
I thought it was E-T-Z.
Oh, whatever. That's how I spelled it. Sorry.
Jeez.
So hold on,
Jamie.
Ask the wrong guy for spelling advice.
Hey, if it's not spelled correctly, it's Jamie. Canadians spell things differently. So let's make the announcement here, guys. Next week, we got a guy really hard to get a hold of. We already had one of these guys on. It's got to be the other one. We got Carl Pickens coming on air, guys. Carl
Big.
Pickens. Dude, I can't begin to tell you. I talked to him for probably 10, 15 minutes the other day, and I fanboyed out on him as soon as he called. And he told me who it was. I was like, do you remember this? Dude, he was cracking up, man. And his number's unlisted. He hates the media. If you remember when he played here in the 90s, he did not want to talk to the media at all. So we've got Carl Pickens coming on next week.
Can you hold that the picture back up?
Sure, autographed, by the way, by both of them.
Is that TV guide for seniors there or what?
Oh, my. It's a poster. You know what? Pretty good. Pretty good. It had big fonts.
Crack on Jimmy here. Tuesday
That's all
night.
right. I can add dish it out. I can take it. But hey, we're excited next week to have a very hard person. You can scour the internet. Not a whole lot of interviews with Carl Pickens, but just good stuff there, man. Excited to have CP next week. Also, let's just go ahead and get into this, guys. The Tyler Boyd jersey behind my shoulder. So if you remember last week, we did a drawing. We had 16 people that were in the duck race, and we raised $400 for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Special thanks to Tony the Tiger and his wife, Carrie, for donating that jersey. They had another autographed Tyler Boyd jersey, and I didn't pull it out of the bag here, but there is a Beckett authenticity
certificate of authenticity. Yes.
Yep. So we have it. We're doing another one of these, guys. And I just want to let you know, we sold out 20 spots for $25 each, raised $500. I posted the receipts on all of our social media platforms. We raised another $500, so $900 in less than 2 weeks for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And Tony's already raised probably another $600+ even prior to that. So we're almost at $2,000 approximately, or almost close to hitting $2,000 on that. But there's a picture of Tony. And if you've seen him last week on the show, there's a reason he wears face paint. That's our dude, Tony, man. Good guy there. So here we're doing this again. So we're going to go ahead and do this race. Go ahead and mute me, Jamie, because I'm getting a call from.
All right.
Hold on before you start, Jamie. Hold on before you start. And, we did the first one. We mentioned on the show last week, hey, there's a potential for another one. Tony came up to me Sunday at the tailgate and said, hey, we've got another Tyler Boyd jersey. So that's when the ball started rolling with that. We ended up signing 7 people up Sunday at the tailgate, and they're 1 through 7 here in the race. And then after 8 through 20, Jimmy signed up, and I think I was walking out of the game, or maybe it was during the game. Jimmy said, hey, they're all sold out. So, we've said it many times in this show, the generosity of the fans has been exceptional. So we appreciate everyone pitching in and doing this, and good luck to all 20 of you. And we'll see who's going to take home the autographed Tyler Boyd jersey.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Start, get set. There we go.
What number won last week? Do you remember, Jamie?
I don't remember who won last week. I'm not even gonna take a guess, because then if it wins, people are gonna think it was fixed. So I'm just gonna let this play out.
Jamie's like a professional gambler on duck boats. Just don't want your duck leading too early. So you can see everybody's names on there. I think some are their Twitter handles, some are their actual names. You said the first 7 signed up at the tailgate. The other ones got with Jimmy and did it online via our social media. Archie Carbone there, duck number 10. Pokes his nose out, or is it a beak out? Pokes his beak out. Well, a couple quack. Now,
waiting or wondering what the heck we're doing with this duck race.
there's that panda. That panda duck was there last week.
Huh?
All right, here we go.
Uh-oh. Late run. 12. Uh-oh.
It's going to come down to the wire.
2.
Number 2.
Andrew Archambault.
And I believe, as I said, the first 7 were from the tailgate. I believe he's from Dublin or Reynoldsburg out in the Columbus metro. And a funny story about that, he came up, I think it was the first time ever at a tailgate, and they wanted to try some 16 lots beer. They grabbed a 16 lots beer. They saw the jersey raffle, and just out of the blue decided to donate, because it was a charity event. And here we are. Andrew won. So I guess he has to thank our buddy Del Hall for the 16 lots beer, because without that, probably would have never known, despite us making announcements throughout the tailgate. So congratulations to Andrew on winning the Tyler Boyd jersey. We'll be in touch, and stay tuned. You might see a duck race and another jersey soon. Again, with 100% of the proceeds going to one of our great charities.
Yeah, and it's funny. James and I were kind of adding up this year, and it's so fun. I mean, to kind of help out all these different charities, especially in today's environment. So we're officially a little over 10 grand towards our fundraising this year, which is just freaking awesome, guys. The Ken Anderson Alliance, the Anthony Munoz Foundation, Foundation for Green Berets, and the Foundation for Suicide Prevention, which is something Tony the Tiger brought to the table. To focus on 3 or 4 specific charities to make an impact with those charities. I can't begin to tell you how much it's appreciated, guys. So we're going to make that duck race probably part of our weekly stuff here. So the winner, if you could direct message us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you're at, we need your address so we can get that Tyler Boyd jersey sent out to you. Congratulations. We'll send some koozies out with it as well. We appreciate it.
I'm going to find one that does like a tiger race instead of a duck race.
Yeah. All right, that'll work.
So any of your computer programmers, is that what they're called, that can build that for us at Bengal Gyms? Yeah, we'll take that.
We'll find somebody. So let's talk about real quick so we got Carl Pickens coming on next week. Very excited about CP coming on, and also have next week a very big introduction for us, guys. And again, this isn't about the tailgate, but this is about Bengal fans and bringing people together. But what's really cool is that we have the longest running, continuous running tailgate in Cincinnati football history. We even secured tailgating for the first opening day game this year, where there was no fans in the stand, had a jumbotron, had a drive-in tailgate, continued that streak. There's always a way to get stuff done. We are officially next week being inducted into the Tailgate Hall of Fame next week, and there'll be an induction ceremony live on air with that organization. Really good group of folks. And we'll talk about the other folks here in Cincinnati involved in that as well. So very cool thing. We're very excited about that. We're going to have, I think, 5 or 6 of our key guys, our inner circle guys on the tailgate involved in that induction into the Hall of Fame next week. So pretty excited about that, guys.
Yeah, definitely gonna be fun. Another reason to drink more 16 lots beer.
Yeah, pretty sure. So, guys, is Lamar in the chat in the room right now? How does he look? Does he look connection look okay?
Yeah, looks good. Do you want to do an intro and we'll bring him on?
We're gonna go to the History 101 later. We got we got History 101 with Tom Justin. We're gonna keep to that 70s theme, old school week. We're also going to tie in this conversation that we're going to have with Lamar into the top defensive backs in the Bengals history. And it just happened to be Lamar and Ken Riley were part of the best defensive back unit in Cincinnati football history. We're going to talk into that here a little bit. But let's do an intro. Man, I don't even know where to start, guys. We keep talking about all these Cincinnati Bengals that should be in the Hall of Fame. And guys, I don't care what people say outside of Bengal fans in the organization. Cincinnati just gets the short end of the stick on these guys. I'm telling you, this guy tonight is yet another guy that should be in the Hall of Fame. If you remember, we did our top 16 Hall of Ring of Honor inductees into our Ring of Honor, which we think will be on the inside Paul Brown Stadium here very soon. We got number 6 on our list, Lamar Parrish, 7th round pick, 1970 out of Lincoln. Played with the Bengals from 1970 to 1977. Played for the Redskins from 78 to 81 and played for the Bills in 82. 8-time Pro Bowl, guys. 3-time first team All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro, defensive back of the year 1979, 47 interceptions, 13 touchdowns, all-time leader in touchdowns scored by a return or recovery in Cincinnati Bengal history with 13 touchdowns, almost 3,000 punt or kick return yards. Unbelievable. Probably the number 2 best draft pick in Bengals history. Ken Anderson, the late round pick out of Augustana College, I think is number 1. Number 2, you got a 7th round pick out of Lincoln. The Bengals picked him 7 and wound up being an absolute stud for the Bengals. 15 fumble recoveries, 3 for touchdown. This guy was legit. Let's bring on Leaping Lamar.
Hello.
Leaping, what's going on, big dog?
Jimmy, how you doing?
Man, life is good, brother. We need to see your whole face, man. I don't just want to see your chest.
Can you see me?
Yeah, you're good.
There
You're
you
good.
go.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Man, you got the old
Wonderful.
70s jersey?
Yes, I got the 70 jersey on right here. Leaping Lamar. You know what it is?
Hell yeah. All right, Leaping. We got to do something here. Are you on the laptop or the phone? The phone?
I'm on the phone. Yes, I couldn't get you on the lab.
That's all right. Let's try this. So we're gonna start off with a picture because people need to know, Leaping. So what we do here, Leaping, we try to bring back all the Bengal OGs. You know, people don't know the young folks and the young people today. They don't understand how damn good those teams were from the 70s, how great this defense was. And we're trying to bring back. We're never going to let people forget about you guys, Leaping. But we do want to start off a little bit. We want to show a picture of everybody, Leaping. Let's show this picture of Leaping and some of his teammates back in the 70s. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's Leaping right there. That's the man right there.
Yep.
That's what we did back in. That's what we did back in the 70s. There, those are some of my boys. There, Vern Holland, Neil Craig, and Ken Johnson.
Yep. So is that you in that creamsicle suit?
No, sir. That's me in the yellow and orange, right there with the hat on. You see what it is, Jimmy. Don't play with it.
Yeah. Man. So Leaping, man, hey, you're looking good, man. Looking good there. So help me understand. So I talked to a few of your teammates before the show, right? So they were talking about how you always look good, man. You always dress good. And did you have a seamstress out of St. Louis that made you suits like every week or every month or something like that?
I did. Hey, yeah, she was my girlfriend at the time.
All right. So how tall are you, Leaping?
5'11", stretching it.
So how tall was this lady that you were seeing doing these suits for you?
Oh, she was about 5'5", 5'6", something like that.
Oh, okay. So somebody told me she was 6'8".
Oh no, that's not true. No. That's not true. You know, God can always lie on Lamar, so that's all right.
All right, that's good, man. That picture right there has been floating around social media forever, man. That is a classic Bengal picture, man. We love it, man. Thanks for letting us share that with everybody.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this on your phone, Leaping, but we got some two or three videos we want to play. And we got some video here. Clip one, Jamie, if you could play this video of your first touchdown in the NFL in 1970.
It's the Bengals of Cincinnati. Against Buffalo, the long road of frustration came to an end, and the spotlight fell squarely on rookie Lamar Parrish, number 20.
Go.
For two tape measure touchdowns. One a 95-yard jaunt with a kickoff, the other an 83-yard trip with a blocked field goal. Against the Bills, every facet of Cincinnati's game sparkled. Parrish spearheaded a stingy secondary. Horst Moolman added 5 field goals. And the hard chargers of the defense.
So Leaping, you were the Deion Sanders. You were the Deion Sanders of the 70s. You were better than Deion anyway. A 95-yard kickoff return, an 83-yard blocked field goal that Ken Riley blocked that you took back for the touchdown, and an interception in one game, your first touchdown in NFL. Do you remember that at all?
Yes, I do. That was the first one. It probably was the longest one. I don't know. I did 13. But anyway, that was exciting. You know what I'm saying? That Paul Brown told me I was going to break one. He told me I was coming close. And he said, you're going to break one after a while. I'll be darned. The next game I did, first game I did break one. I broke against Buffalo, and I scored twice in that game.
Yeah, man, that video clip, man, we posted that on social media, and people couldn't believe that. I'm like, man, I'm telling you, this guy. We're going to talk a little bit later when we bring on some more information, how good you guys were in the secondary. We're going to talk about Ken Riley and you here in a minute, but I mean, in 1970 was your rookie year. You had almost 500 yards, kickoff return yards, with only 16 returns. It was over 30 yards in average, which is unheard of. Now, Leapin, if you did that in today's NFL, how much would you get paid?
I don't know. You know, they had to put my salary on layaway to be so much. You know what I mean? They couldn't pay me out. These guys today, I don't know why they paying them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they on real defensive back. Ken Riley and I was lockdown corners. We love the game. You know what I'm saying? We played it hard, and we was the best at doing it.
That's right.
Ken and I together, there was no one better.
No doubt. No doubt, man. I just love that clip, man, seeing you playing your first video clip, man, your first touchdown. So we're going to play another video clip here, clip number 2, 1972. Leapin, you were the first Bengal in history, and the record still stands today with 3 interceptions in one game. Let's play this video, Jamie. Clip 2.
All right, 1 second. Here we go.
The Bengals front four could have really taken it easy and just sat back and watched Lamar Parrish, number 20, single-handedly destroy the Oilers. Parrish intercepted 3 passes and turned the game into a red-faced rout. Parrish picked off one sideline pass and galloped in for a score. "42 seconds later, following Cincinnati's kickoff, Houston quarterback Ed Baker tried another sideline pass, and Parrish intercepted again and returned it for another touchdown.
So, damn, Lamar, you had 3 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns.
Yes, I guess the guy didn't know who I was, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so he had to try me. But you know, you try them deeper, bad things gonna happen.
No doubt.
So, Mr. Baker did not send you Christmas cards, I guess, after that performance against him.
I guess not. I guess he wanted to forget about me. You know what I'm saying? I don't blame him.
So a couple things of that game, Lamar. So the uniform combination, I love those old 70 classic uniforms and that Oilers uniforms. I love it. You guys beat up on the Oilers that day like 61-17. We had one of your teammates on a couple weeks ago, Bob Trumpy. And Trumpy talked about some of his memories of the Astrodome. You have any specific memories about the Astrodome at all?
Not really, just that we used to go down and play hard. That we won most of the games down there that we played in. But I can't recall too much about the Astrodome. Yeah.
You guys, that was a very big rivalry in the AFC Central back then. You guys always beat up on those guys. All the time you guys beat them.
Hey, we did. Those guys, we kind of owned them. You know what I'm saying? Just like Pittsburgh owned a lot of teams. We kind of had their number, so we played them very well.
Yep.
You know, we had a comment, Jimmy, about Lamar's footwork there on that first video, and it was impressive there after that Ken Riley blocked field goal when he ran it back. You were tiptoeing that sideline, Lamar. That was one heck of a run.
Sure was. Hey, well, that's what I do. You know, I was born to do that.
Hey, Lamar, I'm just thinking, lucky they didn't have replay back then because I think you stepped out.
I did. Don't say that. They'll try to take it from me.
Oh man, hey Lamar, I had like 15 videos. I can't play them all, but man, I was so excited to have you on. You're like a Cincinnati football legend, man. But we got another video clip number 3, 1977, the second coldest game in Cincinnati Bengal history here. So go ahead and play this clip.
Bradshaw's desperation aerials for 6 points.
Go, Leapin. Leapin. We beat the Steelers, man, in 1970s. Remember how cold that was that day?
Yes, I do. It was something like 15 below zero. There was ice on the field. They had to blow towards the field and everything. You know, I didn't want to play that game. It was so cold, man. I said, how can we play? But Pittsburgh came out in short sleeve shirts and stuff like that, man. I tell you, but those guys were big. They were strong. And I never seen anything like that. You understand me? Weston, all those guys, Joe Green, them came out there in short sleeves. I was young in the game. You understand me? So I was all bundled up and stuff like that, swan them flying down the field. I said, boy, I gotta go change my clothes. So
growing up,
I had to go in the locker room and pull off a lot of things.
Yeah, so that game right there. So you guys beat the Steelers. I think it was 17-10, but that was a 47-yard interception return. But Leapin, that was 1977. That was your last touchdown as a Cincinnati Bengal.
Right.
Yep.
In fact, I did not run punts back the last 3 years or something like that with the Bengals. I didn't run punts or kickoffs back, and I guess I didn't score that much, but I was still doing my thing on that corner. You understand me?
You know it. You know it.
The reason I didn't run punts back is because I guess they didn't want to pay for the punt thing. But see, I was a lockdown corner, and our punt return, that was extra to me there. You understand me? When I first came in the league, that was my pet peeve. But I developed into a great corner, Riley and I.
Yep. So, Jamie, James, I think you had something.
Yeah, I was going to say, growing up in Florida, Mr. Parrish, that was certainly a shock at 15 below there playing in that game against the Steelers.
Yes, it was, but I was kind of used to the cold because I've been to school in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
See, and it was extremely cold there, but I didn't like the cold weather there either. So I just had to adjust as I had to do and everything else. You understand me? Life is like that. You make adjustments.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I got one final clip, and we've got questions coming from you that we'll probably throw out here from our viewers right now. But this is clip 4, and let's watch this clip and then talk about it, because I want to tie in two of the greatest cornerbacks in the history of football, and definitely in the history of Cincinnati Bengals. Your friend Ken Riley and Leapin' Lamar. Let's watch this video clip right here, guys.
The cornerbacks were Ken Riley, number 13, and Lamar Parrish, number 20. Together, this twosome made life miserable for their opponent's wide receivers. Lamar Parrish also has the distinction of being one of the most exciting kick returners in the.
So Leapin, I mean, just kind of stepping back a little bit on this. So from 1970 to 1977, you and Ken Riley were on the same team together. You guys had 57 interceptions and 6 touchdowns between you. And Jamie, if you're able to pop up that picture that Dalton did for us, that graphic. So and this is a very special graphic, Dalton, on Twitter and Facebook, Richard Dalton. So guys, I can't begin to tell you, part of what I geek out about this, and Tom Justin and I will talk about this later, is the history of this organization is as deep as anyone in the NFL. These are two of the best cornerbacks in NFL history. And they both should be in the Hall of Fame. 58 interceptions in 7 years and 6 touchdowns just between these two guys is an amazing feat. So, Leapin, talk about not just Ken, but talk about you and Ken and the chemistry you guys had together.
Hey, well, Ken and I was roommates for 7 years, 8 years, I think it was. Different personalities, but a lot of respect for each other. You understand? I mean, the Ken and I compliment each other on the field. We was roommates for 7 years. Never had an argument. Never had anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Riley and I was friends. Very close, closer than people can imagine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talked about a lot of things, not just football, but business, houses, cars, family, a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I miss Riley dearly. In fact, I talked with Riley 2 days before he died. And we just had fun reminiscing, talking about things and stuff like that. I miss him. And I respect him. Hey, but he and I was two of the best. We was ball hawks. We learned fundamentals and technique from Chuck Weber. Hey, we learned how to play three positions, bump and run. We could catch. We could play off. We could do several things. We was well diverse. And I got a lot of respect for Ken. Both of us should be in the Hall of Fame. In fact, we should go together. Right now, even though he's deceased, I still feel that he and I should go in there side by side.
Man, that would be, I got goosebumps as you said that, Leapin. I mean, I literally have chills that you talking about you and him together. But let me throw out some stats to you, Leapin. I just found this out today. Now, I couldn't break it down specifically to the time period you and Ken played together, but it's just the decade of the 70s, okay, which is the bulk of 7 out of the 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. So the Bengals defense in the decade of the 70s, forget the damn steel curtain, guys. Let's listen to these. This is unbelievable. You guys were number one in the NFL in the decade of the 70s for defensive touchdowns. A lot of interceptions and touchdowns. Number one in the NFL in the decade of the 70s. You guys were number 5 in the NFL for fewest points allowed. You guys were number 7 for fewest passing yards allowed in the NFL. Number 8 for the lowest passing rating in the NFL. And number 9 during the decade of the 70s for most interceptions per year. And Leapin, you in that secondary, you and Kenny were a big reason for these stats.
Yes, we was the reason because we was man to man, and anytime you could play man to man against anybody, you could do a lot of things on the line. You could stunt, you could blitz, you could do anything. We played everybody man to man. We didn't care who you were. We played Pittsburgh, you name them. We didn't care about them. Line them up, and Riley and I was gonna play them.
Yep.
I was more bump and run than Riley. He was off. He mastered the deep technique, and I was in your face. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to take everything away. I didn't want you to catch nothing, short, medium, or deep. Riley mastered Riley mastered the off game. Said that he was very technique savvy, and both of us could play it. But I prefer to be in your face because I depend on my speed and quickness. You understand? Being a little corner, I didn't want to be too far off you. If you caught the ball, I said if now.
Yeah. Hey, so when I said earlier that it was the Deion Sanders of the 70s, does everybody see what I'm talking about? This guy was legit.
Yeah. Well, I depend on speed and quickness, because I was small. See, I played the game at 180 pounds for 13 years. Never wanted to get any bigger because I depend on speed and quickness. I was able to make my tackles. I didn't miss a lot of tackles. I was solid. I played a lot of games. I didn't get hurt very often. And when I did, I came back and played as soon as possible. But yes, Riley and I was, we was a great team.
Yeah.
We want to remind everybody that's watching to submit their questions for Lamar. Again, this is a show by the fans for the fans, so we appreciate everyone tuning in. And certainly submit your questions, and Jamie will read those. Before we go to those, Lamar, who is one player that you enjoyed going up against? Maybe because he talked a lot or of his notoriety. Who was that one player that you really enjoyed lining up?
I didn't get too many talking people out there because they know I was going to put those hands on them. So, so they didn't want that trouble. You know, I don't blame them. But anyway, I can't recall anyone talking stuff to me. And I remember Charlie Taylor when I played him as a rookie. I played him well, and he was talking stuff to me. He told me after the game, he said, "You played well to say, when you come to DC, I'm going to beat you." And he did. He did. He gave me a move that I never seen before, and he kind of tricked me a little bit. But yeah, Charlie Taylor, he's the only one that says some words to me. But the other guys, you understand? I mean, they were too busy trying to figure out how to beat me, how to get off that bump and run, so they wasn't saying too much.
Nice. All right, Jamie, let's go to some questions from our viewers.
He's got a couple he wants.
A couple quick ones here. So Lamar, when you said you relied on speed and quickness, I do too. I rely on it every day. I'm quit laughing. Don't laugh.
I hear you, Jeb. I hear you.
So it's funny. I didn't bring this text here today. I got a message from Dave Lapham. I asked him a question about leaping Lamar, and he said something about, he gave me a bunch of stuff. The one thing I remember reading, he was talking about, you had some sort of car. It was like kind of a real, a cool ass car. Do you remember that?
I do, yes.
What was it?
It was a Toronado, custom built, custom made. I had a lot of gadgets on it. Diamond in the back, sunroof top, grill on the front, gangster white wall tires. I had the whole thing.
I was trying to find pictures of it.
But all of us had those cars, you know what I'm saying? All of us drove Cadillacs and things like that. But I chose the Toronado because it was new, it was different, and I kind of jazzed it up a little bit because that was me. But yes, the car was something else. Paul Brown used to talk about it all the time. Talk about, can you see out that thing?
That's good stuff. So Jamie, let's leaping right now. We are streaming live to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We have hundreds and hundreds of people watching, and I'm excited because a lot of these guys are younger than you and I, and some of them have heard your name. But let me tell you something. They're learning something now about Cincinnati football history, and they're learning about leaping Lamar. So let's go to some questions from our viewers, Jamie.
All right, Lamar. So James had asked you who you enjoyed going up against. We have Thomas asking, who was your least favorite wide receiver to go up against?
Oh, my least favorite was Paul Brown. Paul Brown. Paul Longfield. See, I'm still thinking about Paul. But anyway, Paul Warfield was because the man was smart. He was quick, great speed, and he came out to break straight down the line. He didn't round any moves. So it was hard to get to the ball because on his outright, he was straight down the line. He didn't round anything. His post move was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I got beat one time, not for a touchdown, but for a long ball, a post corner as a rookie. He gave me a move that I hadn't seen before. You know what I'm saying? He took me to school. And I learned a lot from him. But I didn't want to play him. He was one guy that I did not want to play. But anybody else, I lined up, I did my job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but Paul Warfield gave me problems.
All right, perfect. We got this one from Anthony Brooks. You had multiple records at Lincoln University. Which one was the most memorable?
Probably the punt return that I had for 90-something yards, I guess. I had to zigzag across the field. I was backing up and circling the field about 2-3 times, and finally I saw the path to the goal line and I scored.
That's awesome.
And another play was my rookie year that I was alternating with the All-America, and he got hurt in the fourth quarter. The game was on the line, 4th down and 6 or something like that. We were too far to kick a field goal, and the quarterback turned to me. He said, "Look, I'm gonna give you the ball and follow your guard." I was following my guard to the sideline, but the linebacker was over pursuing, and I broke back across the grain, and the rest was history. I took it in for about 70 yards, I guess, about 63 yards. And from there, I began to start. I became the starter from there.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Great. Tommy asks, how do you think today's receivers would fare going up against you back in the 70s?
Well, these guys are big. They're tall. They got good speed. But like I say, the routing that depends. I especially depend upon my quickness and speed. I would get up on you, I had to keep separation from you to keep you from getting into my body. And because the big guys usually get into my body and try to push me off, turn around and catch the ball. So I had to learn how to finesse that. And I did that.
Awesome.
And these guys today that I plan the same way, I wouldn't change my game. They would have to change theirs because I am who I am. I'm a bump around corner.
Well, that's a good lead into this question, actually. Sean asks, do you see anyone in the league now or even recently that reminds you of you or your playing style?
Well, That's a good question. I see a couple cornerbacks that does well, because they bump and run the whole position. They don't get turned around. For one thing, I don't believe in the corners today, though, the way they play. They turn sideways to run, you know what I mean, when the ball is snapped. We was taught to backpedal, keep that guy 3 yards in the front of you, you know what I mean? When they close that gap, you got to come out that backpedal. But these guys today, they start off running. Therefore, they open themselves up to the out route or the in route. I don't believe in that. For one thing, that they aren't teaching techniques and fundamentals. Hey, that's the reason you see so many back shoulder passes being caught and etc. I would have ate that up. We call that the comeback. That's all it was to us, you understand? The comeback route. Going 20 yards, comeback, quarterback, leave it at that. But I didn't care about that because I played on your hips. See, when you stop, I was going to stop. You go to the bathroom, I was going to be there to give you tissue paper.
Yes.
We also have a lot of people in the chat asking about the jersey behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about that? You got a white striped jersey behind you?
This is my college jersey here. They retired that number years ago, a few years ago when I was head coach. Only 2 people in the history of the school have the jersey retired. That's a guy by the name of Leo Lewis. He owned all the Russian records there. And in fact, he played in Canada. He was everything in Canada. So they retired his. His number is number 30 minus number 20. So this jersey just represent that.
Yeah.
It looks like the new Bengals color rush jerseys there. I thought the white.
Love it, Leapin. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So Leapin, let's go back to some of your teammates, man. Let's go back, man. You played with some very special gentlemen on your teams, man. So go into a little bit of detail. I mean, I'm going to throw out some names, Leapin. You tell me kind of your thoughts around these players. Let's talk about Isaac Curtis.
Best wide receiver I ever played against. Best I ever seen. And the man does not get enough credit. He's fast. He's a beat bump and run. You know what I mean? And when Ike was a rookie, he couldn't get off the bump and run. Paul Brown made us stay out daily working with this man. Ike got so good too, we couldn't even put our hands on him. And he was phenomenal. This man does not get enough credit. The Bengals doesn't give us enough credit. Riley, myself, and Isaac Curtis, we don't get the glory that we should. And especially me, you know what I mean? I'm disappointed, but I should know that I've been getting this treatment all my life with the Bengals. But I love the Bengals. Mike Brown and I have a special relationship. Say that he's a good man. Paul and I never had a confrontation. We always had contract problems. But you know, the Bengals is my favorite team. I love the guys that I played with. The organization was good to me. Mike Brown was good to me. And because when I retired, became the head football coach, I was calling him out asking for a lot of things, and he never told me no. So that I take my hat off to him. I respect those guys, and I always will be a Bengal.
Well, let me tell you this, Leapin. I know the organization is trying to do a better job of remembering their OGs, the players that made this team and this organization. I know you were in town a few years ago for the 50th. I was at that event. It was really cool to see you on stage talking with some of the other players. But I'm going to say it right now, brother. I don't care what you fear from the organization. I know they're doing a better job of that, and they'll continue to do that. But we love you, man. We love you. We'll never forget you. You're a special part of Cincinnati football history, man. And people in Cincinnati will never forget you, buddy.
Hey, well, I'm a part of Cincinnati. You know, I love the fans. I love the players that I played with. They are phenomenal. All those guys, hey, we had a bond. You know what I mean? They are family to me. I talk to Isaac Curtis, Burley, and all those guys all the time. Sherman White and all those guys. We talk. We communicate all the time. Al Beauchamp, Ken Avery. We talk all the time. We are family.
All right, keep going with some of these names. Talk about our guy, another one that should be in the Hall of Fame with you, Ken Anderson.
Ken Anderson should be. He's a great player. Threw the ball well. Hey, put up the numbers. He should be there also. Hey, we got to do a better job with these guys, with us. You understand me? Promoting us. getting us out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because we do represent Cincinnati football team,
Yes,
and
sir.
we deserve to be recognized. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have feelings about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that I'm not recognized in Cincinnati as I should be for some reason, but I gave my blood, sweat, and tears there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I
Man.
love the team, and I deserve more.
Man, let me tell you something. There's a sporting goods store downtown Cincinnati called Cook Sporting Goods, Leaping.
Right.
You have a jersey hanging up in there, man. I just want to let you know. People know who you are, man. We still love you, man. So let's keep going with some of these names. Let's talk about unfortunately we had a passing of one of your teammates, Essex Johnson, man. Talk about Essex.
Oh, one of the best running backs I ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Fast, great hands, come out the backfield, catch the ball, score. And the man, Essex was one of the best running backs I ever seen. Sorry that he didn't play too long with us either, but Essex Johnson was something special.
Yep. So
Right.
let's talk about these big dudes on up front here. Let's talk about Dave Lapham.
Oh, Dave Lamar was a stud. He was a stud, you know what I'm saying? He would block the house if you put it up in front of him. The guy was phenomenal. He opened a lot of holes for the running backs and stuff like that. So I take my hat off. That line was a good line, you know what I'm saying? Because we had running backs, we had a running game, we had passing game, and those guys up front, they're the reason for everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Ken Nelson throwing the ball, he had time to throw the ball. The guys come out the back, they had time to catch it. So, and that whole line was good. Bob Trumpet and all those guys, Johnson, all those guys was good.
Yep. So last one, and maybe we can go back if you got a couple more minutes, Lamar. Thanks for joining us again. We're very excited, very special night for me. I'm kind of fanboyed out. I'm geeked out, man, having you here with us. But I'm going to ask you about one more player, and then we're going to go back to if there's a few more questions, if you're okay with that. But talk about Tommy Casanova.
Oh, Tommy was good. Tommy was our guy. You know, the strong safety. We blitz Tommy a lot because we know when he get there, he was going to deliver a blow. We call him the doctor, you know what I'm saying? Because he was studying to be a doctor as he was playing football. So the Tom was special. And I enjoyed playing with him. He was knowledgeable. He was smart. And we got along well, you know what I'm saying? I mean, did we compliment each other that he would put us in the right place? Directors call the signals and put us where we need to be. Tom was special to us. You know what I'm saying? That whole secondary was special. Neil Craig, myself, Ken Riley, Bernard Jackson, and the rest of the guys, Tony. All those guys was good. And I enjoyed playing with them. They gave their all because we had to with Paul Brown, because if you didn't, you would not be in that lineup. Trust me.
Yeah. Mentioning, go ahead, Lamar.
And we played hard.
Mentioning Paul Brown, we like to hear from a lot of our older players, their favorite Paul Brown story. You mentioned some contract issues or talks that you had with him, trying to get more money, as you certainly well deserved. It's, as we've talked about tonight, just a phenomenal career, what you did in the secondary. If you don't mind, Mr. Parrish, please share one of your favorite Paul Brown stories.
Coach Paul Brown is a legend. Smart, surround himself with quality people. Every coach around him was smart. They was brilliant. And they taught techniques and fundamentals because he believed in that. I admire him. I learned a lot from him. I learned organization. I learned punctuality. Everything a football player need to know. Paul Brown was a teacher, and I respect him. I honor him, and I will play for him again. But we'll have to sit down and talk about the money thing.
Let's take it one step. Let's take it one step further. You mentioned when your playing career was over, you phoned Mike Brown. Is there a particular Mike Brown story you'd like to share?
Well, I can tell one about Paul Brown. Hey, Mike Brown and I wasn't that close in the football world, you know what I mean? Because he was up in the office more so. But Paul, I remember one game we played in the Cleveland Browns, I think it was, you know what I'm saying? That was a must game for us. And I wore my mink coat and my hat that game, you know what I mean? So I was in the locker room, I was undressing, and I went to the bathroom to do what I do. And Paul Brown came to my locker, got my mink coat, put it on, put my mink hat on, and walked around the locker room like he was me or something. And that was the funniest time I ever seen. I have never seen Paul so happy and stuff like that. I guess that he knew that we was gonna play well, and he came in there. He had fun that day, and I never will forget that. That's the first time I ever seen him like that.
What color was the mink coat, Leaping?
White.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man.
White, baby, white. Long white mink coat with a mink hat. Boy, I was doing the thing. Paul Brown came in, put my thing on. I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He just walked around the locker room like it was his or something like that. But that was funny. The guys laughed and stuff like that. But we went out that game and we had fun. I think we beat the brakes off the Browns that game because we had to.
Yeah.
But that was the funnest time that I was seeing with Paul Brown. He was a genius. He surrounded himself, like I said, with coaches such as Chuck Weber, my coach, Riley coach, defensive back coach. Because when I came in the league, see, I was a running back. I didn't know anything about cornerback. I went home and taught myself backpedaling, stuff like that. But I was an athlete, and I knew I could play anywhere. But Paul surrounded himself with quality people that could teach. And we learned, Riley and I learned. I would do it again. I would play for him again. And because I learned so much, that's the reason I'm the player I am today, because I was drafted by the Bengals. I had great coaches, and I had a great head coach.
So somebody just put in our chat area, Leaping, if you could put AJ Arnett's quote up there, Jamie. They said, instead of leaping Lamar, you should be pimping Lamar.
No, those days is over. You understand? I had my fun. I had my fun during those days. We did.
All right. So look, we really appreciate you being on, Leaping, because I have one final question, and we ask every one of our guests. And we're kind of 50-50 on the response on this, on every player that we've had on this year. So if there's one team, I hate using this word, but hate's a strong word. But if there was one team you hated the most, was it the Cleveland Browns or the Pittsburgh Steelers? Who was it to you?
Cleveland Browns, because we had to hate them. Well, no doubt about it. Paul Brown didn't like them, and we didn't like them.
That's good stuff, man. So Leaping, look, I'm going to tell you, tell Linda that we appreciate her helping you guys get on. I am so excited. I could have you on here for 2 more hours, Leaping, but I know we got other things we got to do, and I know we want to respect your time. It means a lot that all these hundreds and hundreds, and that hundreds of people are watching you live right now, Leaping, and a lot of these folks, Leaping, believe it or not, will be the first time they've heard you speak and talk about some of these stories, and it's one of our jobs that we wanted to do is promote Cincinnati football history, and you were ingrained in this city forever, Leaping, as one of the all-time greats in Cincinnati Bengal football history. And we appreciate your time today, buddy. So if there's anything you want to close with to say to us or the fans, the viewers right now, you can do whatever you need to do right now.
Thank you for bringing me on. I want to thank all the fans in Cincinnati and the coaches that taught Riley and I. And I appreciate guys like you for doing what you do. I think you're doing a good job, and keep it up.
We appreciate it. So
Hey.
I do need a favor.
Yes.
And I think Jamie might want to, or Jamie might have some too. I need you to call Ike, because he doesn't like doing these shows. And
neither do I.
so if anybody can talk Ike in, I've been talking to Ike all year. Now he's just not even responding because I'm bugging the hell out of him. But people need to know about Ike like they know about you, Leapin.
I will call him and I will demand he get on your show. I will do that for you, Jimmy.
I got something for you, Leapin, if you make that happen. James, I'm sorry, you had something.
No, it's 2 days past Mr. Parrish's birthday. So
that's
happy
right.
Belated birthday, Lamar.
Oh, yeah. 73 years old.
God bless you.
Wow.
73?
73.
God bless you.
Yes. God is good.
Hey, so hold on. I'm gonna call Mike Brown because they need some help at cornerback. I'm gonna be your agent. We're gonna take care of you, man. I'm gonna get you paid.
This is for show. This is for nothing else. I'm gonna let the young boys hold that down because right now I have no desire to think about football.
All right. Well, Leapin, we appreciate it. Linda, thank you. I know you can hear us. Thanks again. And we appreciate we love you guys, man. Thanks again.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Bye.
See you, Linda. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
All righty.
That was great.
Dude, you don't understand. I didn't get a chance to see him play. I've only seen videos year after year of him in the 70s. Man, this guy was the real deal. He was so good, man. That's just not at corner. And I love hearing him talk about his aggressive style. The guy could return kicks and punts. He was the real deal, guys.
See the way he was running? You don't see anybody like that in the NFL, man. That's just and he's fast. Oh my God, he's fast.
That was impressive. That was impressive.
Oh,
man. Very cool. Very cool. All right. We got our buddy Tom Justin on here with us.
Justin, you were part of that. You could hear that, right? You could see it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was good stuff, buddy.
It was fantastic. He was fantastic. It looked like he was really enjoying himself too.
Well, about 20 minutes before the show started, we were like, uh-oh, we had a little technical glitch. They couldn't figure out how to get on. We wound up just using their phone. And let me tell you something. I learned this from James. This versus this is hot dog style. It's way better if you use your phone hot dog style because that's what Linda did with her phone because he was going to have his laptop. He wound up using his phone, and it 20 minutes before the thing started, like, oh, we got a problem. 70-something-year-old dude, man, they figured it out. So guys, let's keep it going. The 70s theme, man, the 70s theme. So Tom and I are going to talk about. We're going to kind of build on that conversation that we just had with Leapin and talk about really, to be honest, it is the best Bengals secondary in their history, man. In early to mid 70s, they were legit, man. And let's kind of talk about that secondary. We've got 5 different folks from that secondary. We're going to pop up. And Tom, I didn't tell you what order I put these in, but I'm going to kind of pop it up here and let you kind of hit on some of these guys. But go ahead and open it up, and we'll start with number 5. Bernard Jackson.
Bernard Jackson, it was on. I heard you mention before about all the Bengal takeaways and Bengal touchdowns the defense had in there. Bernard Jackson was an absolute monster running back at Washington State. He was a hero in the state of Washington. He's in the Football Hall of Fame there. He only played there 2 years, but he was the franchise. You'll hear guys, you read about how his teammates felt about him. Paul Brown drafted him, brought him to Cincinnati, and Bernard was shocked to find out he was a defensive back and a safety. But another one of those guys, he had great hands, great ball awareness, became very tough, very quick, a very sure tackler, and he was good with a pick, a scoop and a return, forcing fumbles. He was a true ball hawk. And teamed up very well with Tommy Casanova back in the safeties.
So he played from 72 to 76. Unfortunately, he passed away at age 46 of liver cancer. But I'm telling you, man, he was legit. He was the real deal back there. Let's go to go ahead. Say that again.
Part of that Orange Crush defense that went to the Super Bowl. But yeah, heck of a player.
Yep. So let's talk about number 4 on our list here on that 70s defensive backfield, Marvin Cobb.
Marvin Cobb, and I didn't know this till today. I was reading a couple of things of him. He has something in common with Anthony Munoz. It isn't just playing at USC. He won 2 NCAA championships as a baseball player. He was the starting shortstop for the USC baseball team. And then he won 2 national championships as part of the football team as a defensive back. Of that defensive backfield of the 70s, he's the only true DB. He was drafted as a corner and a safety, played both for the Bengals, played all four positions when need be. He could return a kick if need be, had great hands. He was tough too. All these guys could hit, and none of them were, at least came incredibly big, but he could hit, he could play all four positions, and he can make a defense. He could, a big difference in the defense. He could make a turnover happen.
Yep, good stuff. So, I think he had 13 interceptions in his career too. So, man, it's just unbelievable statistics. And we'll kind of rehash all this at the end. But let's go to number 3 here. Lamar, you just heard Lamar talk about him, Tommy Casanova.
Was on the cover of Sports Illustrated his junior year, the best college football player in America. And he was. The Bengals got a steal with him at the top of the second round. He played a little running back at LSU, settled in at corner. The Bengals got him. They had Lemar Parrish and Ken Riley, so he became a ball hawk safety. But he could really deliver a hit, too. You heard Lamar say he was smart, he was athletic, he was fast. And part of the reason those last several years Lamar wasn't returning as many punts was Tommy Casanova could return a kick. He had a couple returns for touchdowns. Another difference maker, 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. And he was really just hitting his stride when he decided to retire to pursue his career in medicine full time.
Yeah, so Tommy played for the Bengals from 72 to 77.
Right.
He was in 1972. He was the team MVP. 17 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 3-time Pro Bowl, 1-time first team All Pro. This guy was a real deal. Dr. Casanova here was. So let's go to number 2 here. And we're going to finish with probably the 2 best cornerbacks in Cincinnati Bengals history right here. And we'll go number 2 here with Lamar Parrish.
You just rehashed him, but I like the line you used that we talked about. He was Deion Sanders before anybody knew he was Deion Sanders.
That's right.
Act the game in so many ways. He could shut down a wide receiver. He would intercept, not just intercept, but take an interception back to the house. He forced fumbles. He returned kicks. He returned punts. Something I was surprised he didn't mention. He was very apt at blocking field goals and extra points. He blocked a ton of extra points during his career. It is probably maybe the most athletic Cincinnati Bengal we ever had.
Yep. It's just, I was so excited for people to hear him that didn't get a chance to see him play, and to be able to kind of share and let Lamar tell his story to the fans that don't know who he is. Tonight they got to know and learn who Lamar Parrish was.
Watch in person, and one of the few guys who probably was helped by that awful Riverfront Stadium AstroTurf. This really helped his speed that much more.
Yep. So let's go down to number 1, man. This is a 1A and 1B, by the way. So before we talk about Ken Riley, I love this 1975 Topps football cards because they didn't have a contract with the NFL. And as you can see, they airbrushed all the logos off of it. But this right here is one of the top 10 iconic photos of Ken Riley here. But number 1 on our list, Ken Riley.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. There's no excuse why he's not in the Hall of Fame. We'll get to a little bit more of that in a second. But, he had a quote that when he was back there in the defensive backfield, the ball belonged just as much to him as it did the wide receiver. And you don't get 65 interceptions without that kind of mentality. Just like Lamar. I mean, think about that today. I don't know if a team could afford 2 cornerbacks like Ken Riley and Lamar Parrish on the team at the same time. 2 shut down, tough cornerbacks. Ken Riley was textbook in every way. He took care of himself. Even when he retired, he had a couple years left in the tank. He could have kept playing, elected not to, and went into coaching. But he should be in the Hall of Fame, and that's one thing. He's been picking up a bit of momentum with the Veterans Committee, and when they come up for election again next year, I hope everybody watching keeps the pressure on and gets the word out. The more you talk about Ken Riley needing to be in the Hall of Fame, it does help. The better his chances are. Right now, everybody needs to be on there beating the drum for Willie Anderson. It does help. But yeah, hopefully Ken Riley can get in. Recently, Tony Dungy was named to the Veterans Committee, and he gave a very, very clear, impassioned speech about, Ken Riley deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. So hopefully the right guys and the right mentalities are getting on that committee.
Yep, good stuff. So Tom, I talked about these stats earlier, but I do want to rehash these because this is the part of the History 101 segment, and these 5 guys we just talked about are part of these stats. The Bengals had one of the best defenses in the 1970s. Everybody talks about the steel curtain. Listen to these numbers, Tom. They were number 1 in the decade of the 70s, which is the bulk of the time these guys played together.
Right.
The number 1 in defensive touchdowns with 27 defensive touchdowns in the decade of the 70s. Number 1 in the NFL. Number 5 in fewest points allowed. Number 7 in fewest passing yards allowed. Number 8 in lowest passer rating percentage allowed. Number 9 in most interceptions per season average in the decade of the 70s. Guys, that is unbelievable. You always hear about the steel curtain. Guys, the Bengals defense in the 70s, especially some of those early mid 70s, they were the real deal, Tom.
We're talking about, the defensive backfield. And one thing to keep in mind about how good these guys were, no monstrous knock because they weren't awful, but the Bengal defensive lines back then were kind of built and tried to focus the best they could on stopping the run. They didn't have a monstrous pass rush. They could get to the quarterback, but they didn't have a dominant pass rusher, difference maker that other teams truly, truly feared. So a lot of this was all on their own skill, their own work. You heard Lamar talk about how when he came, he had to learn how to backpedal. Obviously, he learned very quickly. The same with Ken Riley.
Yeah, good stuff. So a couple things from some of the folks in our chat area right now, Tom. So first of all, they're upset that you didn't come in your creamsicle Lamar Parrish suit like Lamar had with the big hat and the fuzzy shirt. There it is.
7 or 8 years, man.
And then I know you come to a couple tailgates a year. I know you got
the carbs and I'll work on it.
There you go. I know you come to a few tailgates a year. I know you haven't been down this year with all the crazy stuff going on. You got a lot of family that you come down with, but there's a lot of people in the chat area that would love to be able to meet you at some point. So if not this year, Tom will be down next year again when things get back to hopefully somewhat normal. So Tom, dude, that's our History 101 segment, man. That was a great secondary and a great time in Cincinnati football history that most fans don't realize how good that defense was.
They were special athletes, not just Cincinnati football, but Cincinnati sports history, period.
Yep.
Special group. So we could use those guys again.
Yeah. So someday we're going to have like a rated, I don't know, how do we restrict like little kids watching this? Because all the stories that all these guys say, Jimmy, I can't share that story with you. You can't put that on there. Jimmy, that's not for TV. That's not for radio. All the stories, the locker room stories that I would love to hear that we can't hear. So we're only hearing kind of a tip of the iceberg of some of the stories. But it was a really fun, cool story that James asked Lamar about some of his best Paul Brown stories. And there was a love as bad as it ended in 70 after it ended the 77 season for Lamar. With Paul Brown in a contract negotiation. Did you hear the passion and love for Paul Brown he had in his voice? And even Mike Brown, the love that he had for him. So it was cool.
I thought him saying a couple of times, I will play for him again. He said, I would play for him. I will play for him again. He said, I will play for him again.
But, all those guys that may have had a problem back then with Paul, either as a coach, they wanted more playing time, whatever, or a contract dispute. They all had tremendous respect for the man. I mean, sometimes it was like a tough father-son relationship. I mean, look, after Bob Trump, he retired, and he was on Sports Talk, some of the he had with him. But I can also remember the day Paul Brown died, listening to Trump on the radio and how he spoke. I mean, the man that just meant so much to all those guys. Not just as a coach, but when they would listen to him about their lives after football.
Yep, good stuff. So our Cincinnati Bengals memorabilia, I'm tying into Lamar Parrish in 1971. The Cincinnati Bengals gave these out to a very limited amount of fans that showed up at Riverfront Stadium. As you can see here, Lamar Parrish is on this list. So I have an actual autographed picture of Leapin' Lamar. Look at the fro there. So I got an actual autographed picture here from Leapin' Lamar. Very special part of my collection here in my man cave here, my museum. So Leapin' Lamar, and you're legit and a top football player in the organization when you're I've shared these before with some of the other players we've had on. These would go in Pepsi, like 6-packs, the bottles. They would put them down into bottles. So you had Isaac Curtis, Kenny Anderson, all the studs. And look who they put in there, man. Our guy, Leapin' Lamar, was on here for the Pepsi bottles as well. So, and on the back, you could order a Ken Anderson T-shirt. But they didn't put the whole team on there, guys. That's how special this dude was. And I hate that I was too young to be able to watch him play in the 70s. And I just enjoyed. I had chills talking to him all evening tonight. So, Tom, we appreciate it, buddy. I know we have some very special stuff coming up the next 2 weeks for Christmas and New Year's that you and I have been talking about. So, I'm looking forward to the next few shows with you, Tom. We appreciate you being here with us.
No problem. See you guys soon. Thank you, guys.
See you, Tom. Great job,
day,
as
buddy.
always.
See you, man.
All right, guys. Well, listen, you know what? I think obviously the interview tonight was really good. I think what Cincinnati fans are looking for right now with the way the season's going is something a little positive. So I know we're going over time. So I want to bring up the question of the week for this week. We got a lot of people watching right now. So here we go. What is something positive you can say about the Bengals? What is something positive you can say about the Bengals?
Start with Mr. Positivity up there in the top right.
Put it in the chat. We'll throw it up on the screen and discuss. Jimmy, we're going to throw it to you. Give us something positive you can say about the Bengals.
All right, so before we do that, I know somebody says Jamie's background is hilarious. I see that. That's funny. But if you would have seen the background that James had before he started, if you or your wife or your girlfriend, whoever ever watched those Hallmark movies, so James was sitting with his laptop and he had the fireplace with the garland and the stockings hung with care by the fire pit. He wasn't getting good lighting or good reception, so he had to move. But it literally looked like James was in a Hallmark movie. It was great. But anyway, so the positives, guys. Look, man, we're not taking positives from the year, guys. This year has sucked. Not just on the field, off the field. But I am going to take some positive here because I am excited about, and I want everybody to type in their question, their responses to this. In the darkest of times, remember, it's not as bad as you think it is, and it's never as good as you think it is when things are going well. Okay, so let's kind of step back a little bit, right? And what are the positives that we can talk about with this team, guys? I think the foundation is there for our team, man. I really truly think. I mean, we've got some really good guys on defense. I think our linebacking core is really playing better. Our safeties are absolute legit. Jesse Bates leading that role. Our cornerbacks, our secondary is really solid. One of the strengths of this team going into the year, we thought was going to be that defensive line. It's been the number one weakness, even worse than the offensive line, in my opinion. Like record low sacks and pressures on quarterbacks. We get some guys back healthy next year there, and add to it. I think we're going to be okay there. Offense, guys, I don't think we're too far off, man. We've got a quarterback, and we didn't play a video. We don't need to play that video, Jamie. But I'm sorry that clip. But there's some positive news if you watch Adam Schefter's interview with the doctor that performed the surgery. There's some very positive news about Joe Burrow coming back and being ready to go. Our skilled position players are where they need to be, guys. The question mark, AJ Green, does he take less of a contract to come back with us, right? I'm excited about that. I don't care what anybody says or what PFF or what the numbers say about that offensive line. Guys, it's been bad. It has been brutally bad. Our best offensive line is out for the year in Jonah Williams. Pretty serviceable job at center there. We really, to be honest, we have probably a good, not any better than good, right tackle. He should be a backup on this team. So we're pretty much locked in, James, and you help me with this, right? So we're pretty much locked in.
Right, hold on. Don't mention that number. That's my shtick. Just go.
All right, I'll keep going. So I'm excited about it because I truly think the holes that we have in that offensive line can be addressed with one draft pick and two free agent signings. They spent $150 million this offseason to address some of these holes. A lot of injuries blew that thing up. I think they're going to focus on it, guys. I'm excited about 2021. How can you not be? I mean, there's going to be some positive things go on here in the offseason to get us going for 2021. So that's my positive take on the Bengals right now.
All right, I'll go next. And thank you for not going there, Jimmy. But my positive thing is 3. and I'm going to discuss 3 things with the number 3. 1, there's only 3 games left in this miserable season. Number 2, and you were going there, we've all but secured the 3rd pick unless we pull 2 wins out of you know what. And 3 for number 3 is I sure as hell hope Zach doesn't get a 3rd season. Those are my 3 positives.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good, James.
All right, Jamie.
So I'm a mix of both of what you guys talked about. I think something positive about the Bengals is the core. I think we got a good core we can build around. I think the culture is going to change. I'm with James. I don't think Zach Taylor is the guy to change that culture or lead the core in the right direction. But hopefully the Bengals will surprise us in the offseason by making some more off-season moves they don't normally make. But we'll see about that. But for me, the positive is going to be the core that they can build around. Obviously, you got Burrow at quarterback, Mixon. It's going to be good. If everyone can stay healthy, of course, it's going to be good. Let's go through some people in the chat here. We got a whole bunch of stuff here, guys. Give me one sec. Tyler says, we have a bright future. That's my positive thought. Uday, our unsung hero, Kevin Huber. We're so blessed to have him. Luke says there's nowhere to go but up. Tommy says the rookie linebackers are playing solid. I love seeing Wilson progress.
Agree.
Bates, Boyd, Higgins.
AJ, good one.
Paul says no, we don't.
Damn it, Paul.
Mike says it's almost over. That's a positive.
3 games.
It is a positive, Mike.
Craig says this show's creation was a positive. Hey,
hey, hold on. So we have one smart-ass comment from Beerfest Craig every show. This is his smart-ass comment.
It was positive. God bless.
I had to think, yeah.
And Craig, while he's there, hold on. Go back to Craig's thing. Craig's, as you know, does a beer fest around Cincinnati, and he's also doing a fundraiser for those in the hospitality industry. I believe we shared a link. If not, we'll reshare it. There were some technical issues with the original link. But again, going back to given to others, obviously the hospitality industry has taken quite a hit, and Craig has taken upon himself, I believe it's a GoFundMe page now, to help those out. So we'll share that link, and if you have it in your heart to help those out, we appreciate it. I think those that are from around here, I believe Kentucky's closed for inside dining. Cincinnati obviously has curfews, as do a lot of other areas. So appreciate Craig for all he does for not only the tailgate and the show, but also giving back to those in the hospitality industry.
Awesome. All right, some more things positive about the Cincinnati Bengals. Tyler Boyd has emerged as a true team leader. David Zimmerman, a good second-string QB in Allen. A lot of people obviously think about Burrow staying healthy, but our backup quarterback situation doesn't look good. But
you mean our 4th-round pick, Ryan Finley, isn't a good option?
We did trade up for him, by the way. Mike says Mike Brown needs to spend more money consistently. I think we all agree with that. Biggest positive this season, this show and our fan base. Love getting to know folks that are as crazy as I am about our Bengals.
It looks awesome.
Chris, I'm very disappointed this season about my team, but I believe we do have great players that want to win, and that is a positive for this Bengals fan, and I will be one for life, win or lose.
Hold on. Keep Chris up there, because I'm kind of disappointed in Chris right now. I haven't had cookies in like 3 or 4 weeks from Chris. James, have you?
No, she wasn't there Sunday.
Yeah.
Straight to the game, but I did learn something new. Apparently, there's no character limit on what you can type here. You can type up the whole screen and cover our faces. It almost got me out of there. A couple more lines.
Good job, Chris. That's a positive.
This is an interesting positive. I like this one. We have a stadium named after Paul Brown and not a corporate sponsorship.
Yep. That's awesome. Great, Dave. It's good stuff.
Michael says, my positive is not spending $800 on beer at the games this year.
Michael, we got a secret for you. Show up at the tailgate. There might be a lot of 16-lot beers. Just saying, you drink before you go in. Just saying.
Yeah. There we go, guys. So I just thought we needed to hear something positive. There's not a lot of positives to talk about this year, but we got a lot to look forward to next year.
Yep. Leave it to our Canadian brethren to stay positive.
Keep it positive.
All right, let's go ahead and close it out here, guys. Jamie, you want to start us off?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's the same thing I've said the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's really hard for me I cannot cheer for this team to lose, but I'm okay when we do. It's a weird feeling being that fan on Sunday. But I'm excited to get the season over with. I'm looking forward to getting that 3rd round pick. I think we all know what's going to happen with that 3rd round pick, much like there was no anticipation. There was no speculation in the offseason what the Bengals are going to do with number 1 pick. I think number 3 is a lock as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And that's it for me for this week.
James?
Everybody knows my love for Zach Taylor and his coaching. And I think if you look back at Marvin Lewis and his 16 years here, one of the biggest gripes was his second half adjustments or lack thereof. There was a stat that was floated around this week. Since week 10, the Bengals been outscored 62-10, either in the 3rd quarter or the second half. Regardless, it just goes to show the lack of second half adjustments, which was something that we didn't see out of Marvin Lewis. We're not seeing out of Zach. Hate to beat a dead horse, but ready to move on. Look forward to seeing everybody. If anybody's coming to the game Monday night, we'll be in the same place under the lights with an orange Christmas tree, having a lot of fun, smoking cigars, drinking beer, and being safe. So if you're the initial weather forecast looks good for a December night game. So there are some tickets still available. So if you want something to do, hopefully we'll see you down there Monday night. If not, back here next Tuesday.
Great point, James. 50+ degrees next Monday night. And again, we got to keep, Cincinnati weather is it could be 20 below and snowing, but right now it's 50+ degrees, no rain. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So kind of close it out real quick. I do want to kind of make a comment here. Tom Justin said a positive of his is 2021 is coming with a healthy Joe Burrow and a revamped power offensive line. Very much a positive there, guys. So real quick, my electric went out last night, James and Jamie in the house. Late in the 4th quarter there of the Browns Ravens game. Who wound up winning that game?
You know what? I fell asleep at halftime. That shows you how old I was or how old I am. I couldn't even stay awake.
I watched the final drive. It was interesting. They obviously went back and forth. The lead changed 3 times at the very end of the game. But what the takeaway from that game is what happened in Vegas. All the bettors who bet the spread. Cleveland was plus 3.5, and with the safety, they literally ran the ball back from the 25-yard line all the way back into the end zone with the safety. Cost millions of dollars in Vegas. A lot of really upset gamblers who cannot believe that happened.
That's okay. That'll make up for the stupid 2-point versus extra point that Doug Peterson went for in the Eagles game. So screw Vegas.
All right, too funny. So remember next week, this guy, Carl freaking Pickens is here, man. And I'm telling you, I'm jacked for that one too, man. So Carl Pickens will be here next week. We got to help him get on because he's not done Zoom meetings before. And by the way, they talk about me being old with this giant TV guide here, Jamie. I didn't go to bed at halftime last night like James. I don't know.
I just called him Carl Perkins. Is Perkins a restaurant in the States?
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still around.
Terrible unless you're drunk.
All right.
Real quick, kind of hit on the tailgate again. So this is Steeler week, guys. It is still as ugly as this year has been. It is still Steeler week. We're going to be down there early at the tailgate spot. We're going to have lights in there. We're going to have our annual orange Christmas tree game, which has been like 27, 28, 29 years in every single year tradition. We will have a real live Christmas tree spray painted bright Bengal orange. And when you're done drinking your beer, we're going to put that lot in the middle of the tree in the middle of the lot. You put your beer on that tree as an ornament, and we're going to take a picture before and a picture after, and we're going to have that tree filled with beers, 16 beers all across that tree. So it's our annual Christmas tree game. So it's a lot of fun, and I'll post some pictures of our previous years to keep the pictures keep popping up on Time Hop, James, of our Christmas tree, orange Christmas tree games of the past. Congratulations to the winner of the Tyler Boyd jersey. Again, $500 raised for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Again, thanks again, Tony the Tiger and Carrie. Great, big-hearted people to do anything for you. That's almost $1,000 in 2 weeks that we've raised, that you guys have raised. And I posted the receipt to show you and show proof that it was paid. Thanks again, guys, so much for everything you do to help charities in and around our area and across the country. Remember, there's always somebody that has it worse off than we do, and what can we do to give back and help? And that's one of our main focuses here with us. By the fans, for the fans, and none of this is possible without you guys. Thank you so much. And next week, I think we'll try to get on Craig Johnson and talk a little bit more about his what he's focusing on with the restaurants and all the, I work with tons and dozens of restaurants across Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati, and how badly they've been affected by the COVID. Those folks are really hurting bad, and what Craig is doing is really cool. And I think what we'll do is this next 7 days leading up to next show next week, we're going to do something to help these guys out. So stay tuned for more of that. So we'll get Craig on next week to talk more about that. And don't forget, not just Carl Pickens next Tuesday night, but there's going to be an induction ceremony into the Pro Football Hall of Fame tailgating Hall of Fame next week, and our group, our inner circle, is going to be on the screen here, and Hans is going to, from the Tailgating Hall of Fame, is going to do an induction ceremony live on the show next week. So guys, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for everybody. This means the world. We hope you love this as much as we do. Thanks everybody. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Hoo day.
Stay safe.
Hoo day.